G'day, g'day, g'day. Hello guys, welcome. Probably a little bleary-eyed this morning, I'm assuming, seeing it is a public holiday for quite a few of you. I have no idea what the public holiday is because I am not in, obviously, the UK, so I don't know what the holiday is, but nonetheless, but a few of you on stream, I appreciate you for joining. I'm not expecting a great deal, to be honest, not expecting too many on stream today. Man, anticipating that majority of you are sleeping in, which is more than fair. So yeah, but for me, thought I'll still do a stream. Why not? Not necessarily looking to trade, to be honest. I don't trust the volume whenever there's a bank holiday. To me, it is a little bit volatile. Things sometimes go a little bit. But obviously GJ last Monday was absolutely berserk, but that's a little bit to do with the talks about the possible intervention by the Bank of Japan. So I think there was a little bit more going for it that day. But nonetheless, what I thought I'd do is the analysis moving forward into later in towards the day, or more particular into MY, but what we could potentially look for throughout the week based off the previous week and just where the charts are at the moment. So I thought I'd jump on and do a bit of an update, do some analysis, and we'll see what we can come up with anyway. But in the meantime, guys, make sure to hit the like button. Also, if you have not done so yet, I'm assuming, because there's not only a few of you in here, I'm assuming you're all part of the Discord. If you are, fantastic, because I've just sent in a whole lot of recording of some pre-session analysis, which I'll just show you guys quickly. But it's only for Discord people who've bothered to take the time out in their day to actually join the Discord. So it's for free, guys. It's definitely for free right now anyway. So got the markups. I've got a little video for each pair, just what I'm looking for moving forward into the week, into the day. I've got obviously the 4 pairs that I do analyze on stream. They're all covered down in this area, which is the market analysis area for the free members group. So I thought I'd just quickly show you that, and then we can just get on the way, guys. Apologies for dragging it on. Now I hope you've all had a good weekend, and hopefully it's been a really good start to the month. It was for me an absolute cracker, as you guys know I like to say. So I'm looking forward to continuing how I left off last week, last month as well, and we'll see what we can come up with moving forward. As always, guys, do remember, do say good day, hit the like button, and let's start with the GJ. So enough of that. All right, so looking at GJ, and I'm looking at the weekly count. So I'm going to do a breakdown of what I could potentially be looking for moving forward into the week. Now, previous weekly candle is a very strong bearish candle, so that would suggest to me that if we begin to break the low of it, there is a high probability we will continue to the downside. The issue with that is we are to marking the low of that previous weekly candle. We're basically running straight into support, so it might be a little cleaner on the 4-hour M30. But just based off the daily, we've got about 50 pip margin, which seems like a lot, and it will be enough to find some small little scalps. But when I'm looking at the higher time frame, as far as margin on the weekly, that is absolutely nothing. It's basically like a few pips in comparison on if you were to go down to the 30-minute time frame. So what I'm looking at is, though, that previous candle was a strong bearish candle. So I'm going to use the fib, and where could we potentially pull back to within that candle to form a resistance and look to head back down in line with that previous weekly candle. Now there's a few ways of doing this, guys. You can mark in the low to the high to low, and mark in the 50. Or what you could also do is, especially if the candle closes right near its low and has a significant wick in the opposite direction, so to the upside, I would probably just mark in the fib from the open to the lowest point, and I would be concentrating on 50% within the body of the candle, that previous weekly candle, and say if price does pull back to retest 194.630, At that point there, I would want to see sellers present within the market and form a resistance, price to form a resistance, and look for that to be potentially the highest point of the current weekly candle into that previous weekly candle, and then potentially begin to flip back, head towards our current weekly and previous weekly candles low, and with that liquidity from the upside, potentially create lower lows, and who knows, retest the support, potentially break below it down to the next level 189 roughly. So I'm just going to keep that level marked in. Let's see if it does line up with a level once we go down to the 40-minute and M30 time frames. Apologies, guys. So full breakdown analysis, guys, is what we're doing just now. So daily, structure wise, we are technically still bullish. What we've got also within the current daily candle, which will bode well for any pullback buys at this stage, is we have the high low, high to the previous candle. So what we should do within the current candle, if we were to continue bullish, we have no needs, and we have that high low, high to pull back and break our own low yet again. So in that case, there is at this point a high probability we will continue within the current daily candle to the upside. So that sort of ties in with what I was talking about on the weekly time frame, how that we might pull back potentially to roughly at 194.630 before we form a resistance. Well, the current daily suggesting at this point there that we could end up closing a pretty strong bullish candle. A lot of water's going to bridge just yet. So that would be definitely a level I'd be looking at for, once again, the sells to pop back in around that 194.630. So bouncing off a support here to the left on the daily time frame. I'm going to mark in the high of that previous daily. I just want to see what we've got above that level there. If we were to pull back, potentially form a support closer to NY, we could potentially look for some buy options to take it back up towards the current daily candles high. So onto the 4. So we're bullish for candle probabilities to the upside on the daily time frame. Now the 4-hour structure is also, if you to be very technical, to be really technical about it, I would still call this bullish. This is the one impulse to the upside. You could probably consider this a swing point on a different broker. Perhaps it is. Perhaps you got more than one candle closing back bearish here. Maybe you've got a swing. Maybe you've got 2 or 3 candles closing back bearish. That doji candle could be bearish on another provider. So therefore, it could be a swing, but I'm not considering it a swing at this stage. I'm being really technical about it, and I'm just following the rules. And what I can say is we're bullish. We have formed a support. We've just recently broken a resistance, which was the previous daily candles high. Now I'll be looking for where can we potentially pull back to. If I was to look for short-term buys in anticipation, price could potentially pull back further into that previous weekly candle before it may potentially reject. Obviously, we've got the level at 192.750. Price could potentially come back down to form a support, and we could look for possible buy options from there. So I'm going to mark in that resistance, the most recent resistance price has broken out of. I'm going to mark in most recent support as well, and we can move on to the 30-minute time frame, and we can see that is also technically bullish. I want to go back to the 4-hour for a sec. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this across. I'm going to drag it across to the most recent swing point, because we got a few reasons for that. First of all, we'll be back below that 4-hour resistance if we start to pop below it. Second of all, if we start to close below 192.448, we're going to be flipping the structure bearish at that point. So usually I'd use the low of the bullish candle because that forms support, but I'm going to use the lowest point of that bearish candle because that is the lowest point of that swing from the downside to the upside. So what we do have is below 192.448. That could be a catalyst for potential sells as well, because at that point there, the 30-minute structure will be flipping back bearish. We're just consolidating just now on the 30. Very little direction within price action. That's the current daily candles high. So what I like to see on GJ, so moving forward into the week anyway, once, like I mentioned before, and this 50% lines up with pretty much a resistance from 194.40 to 194.90 roughly. As soon as you break one resistance, you're running straight into another. I would just mark that whole level in. And what I would say at the moment, based off the weekly time frame, again looking forward into later into the week, if price does pull up towards that 194, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 sort of level, I'd just be looking for signs of rejection on the minor time frames. If you can try to tie it in with the catalyst of such as the M30 structure flipping back bearish at that level, then potentially that could be the highest point of the weekly candle, and we could end up heading back in line with the previous weekly, which was a strong bearish candle. So that's just longer term picture moving forward into the week. But currently now moving in towards what would have been London Open, just gonna fix this zone up to downside. What I would be looking at is one of probably two things just now. I want to see price respect, first of all, 192.50, the support just the other. So as long as we pull back down to retest that resistance that we've broken out of, form a support above, really anywhere above the 30-minute zone. So I'm just going to drag this down now. So really anywhere above 192.50, then I would look for my potential buys to take it back up towards the current daily candles high. Now below that level, we've got some clean traffic to the left. Like I mentioned before, we're flipping a 30-minute structure bearish. Not only that, we've got some we're back below the 4-hour range, the previous range that we've broken out of. So to me, the sell option below 192.448, we're back below a psychological round number as well, that 50 level. I would definitely, if it were to come close to NY session and we're near that level and we start to close below it, I would look for my potential sells from below that level. Buys back above that support, obviously, as I just mentioned. Now, buys for continuation. Once again, moving forward into, is the stream working? I've just read that. I hope it's working, because otherwise I'm just rambling on. It appears to be fine on my end, which is usually not the case, so it must be okay. So moving forward, guys, I mean, right now I just doubt the volume. So if this pops up and starts to close above normally on a normal Monday, or any other day of the week when it's not a bank holiday, I'd be looking for my catalyst out of this consolidation, wait for price to pop above the high of the current daily candle or resistance from that level, and I'd look for continuation buys up towards 193.50. Obviously, we've got some pretty clean traffic to the left hand side. So again, having said that, I'm not as keen today because I just don't trust the volume. I usually don't stream, don't trade during bank holidays. However, I thought I'd just jump on today, do the analysis, and just see what the markets are doing anyway. Answer questions, and we'll see what we can come up with. But also, now seeing we're consolidating once again, for me, if this were any other day, I'd literally have that marked in, and as soon as price has a nice strong closure below it, I'd be looking for tap in, rejection, clean traffic to the left, likely going to come back down to retest that previous level of resistance we've broken out of, and potentially head back down towards 192.80 to potentially 192.50. So that's on any day. Any other day, I'd be looking for the potential sell below the support, potential buy above it. But right now, I'm planning more for later on in towards MI session, or even tomorrow, to be honest. So that is the options on GJ if anyone is keen. Right now, I've been waiting 18 minutes for this candle to close strong below. If it is to continue bearish, look for the pullback, creates up a wick, and then sell it. That is a GJ. So hopefully that makes sense. Sorry for rambling on. It's a long one, guys. But again, it's more of the outlook moving forward into the week. Onto gold. So hopefully, this mess is from the recap video on the weekend. Hopefully you guys have had a watch. I do suggest doing so for education, guys. Give it a watch, give it a like, leave a comment. So that video is live, so do have a watch of it. All right, let's have a look at gold moving forward. Quite calming music, isn't it? Sounds like a oriental tea house or some shit. I don't know, I don't mind it, it's pretty cool. All right, weekly, previous weekly, lower high, lower low, strong bearish candle. If I was to use the fib again, that would have closed in, I'm sure, below 50. It has, see it just there. So once again, based off that, once I go down to more so the 4-hour M30, I'm looking to see what potential levels price could pull back to form that resistance and potentially end up moving back in line with that previous weekly candle. Current candle, daily, weekly, higher low, but not obviously a high. Not much volume as to be anticipated. Actually, a fair bit. It's moved a fair bit, to be honest, since Asian session. See what we've got in the daily. We are structurally bullish, so we're bearish in a weekly, structurally bullish in a daily. Obviously, that doji indecision count on a previous daily, a lot of it was influenced by the news. So it could be options either side of that. To be honest, to the upside, we're running into resistance, so it's highly unlikely. To the downside, probably a bit cleaner below that level. Again, just really essentially consolidating. Mentioned on the update video I just sent in moments before the stream into the free Discord group. Basically consolidating between 23.38 and 22.86, this range on the higher time frame. Very choppy, very indecisive. So at this stage, not really much we can make of the daily time frame. We don't really have any counter probabilities as well, but all we know is the structure. We are still technically bullish in structure. 4-hour structure wise remains bearish. We've got weekly bearish to 4-hour bearish. Bit of a clearer picture on a 4-hour. Got some more local resistance here at good market in. It's grey, 23.24 to 23.26 roughly. So seeing we have the previous candle closing bullish, current candle breaks the high of the previous, likely head up where it could potentially pull back to. Once again, keeping an eye on that previous weekly candle. I would say that's a pretty good, decent pullback to grab liquidity from that previous weekly candle where we could potentially form a resistance. So you can see how on the 4-hour, I've just determined a level that price could potentially pull back to within the current weekly candle. And I'd like to see that level hold. And if we do reject that, potentially, doesn't have to be, but could potentially be the highest point of the current weekly candle. And we could end up coming back down in line with the previous weekly. So the 4-hour structure wise, we are technically bearish. Support. I'm gonna mark that in for the time being. They're way off the support. Now, on the flip side, what I want to see for buy. So the weekly's got to, first of all, I prefer to see a strong closure on a daily. I want to see the current weekly respect the low of the previous. So I'd pretty much like this bit, like for the low of the current weekly to be the lowest point basically. So we form support at that low. I like for support to be respected and for price to head back to continue to the upside now and break through obviously level of resistance, which I want to see hold if we are to potentially continue bearish. So if we start to pop above that 23, 26, 27 sort of level, then I start to think that maybe there is a good chance the weekly will end up pushing and remaining bullish throughout. So onto the M30, I can just now clean this up a little bit to incorporate a little actual lowest point of support. Use the open to the lowest point of that bullish candle. And all right, so for the upside on gold this week, what I would like to see is now, like I said, we've formed support at the current daily candles low. We do have a low wick. Now we've respected a lot of that previous weekly candle. If we are to remain bullish throughout this week, what I want to see price do is form support within the move to the upside. I want to see price respect levels of support that it forms on the way up within the current weekly candle. So we've got option A, price to pull back down, retest 2,308 roughly, form a support above that level, then we could continue to the upside. Option B, if it does begin to break this support, I'm talking about the buyers first, I want it to pull back down, respect the current daily candles low, respect the current weekly candles low, form a support above that level, and then I'd still feel comfortable that potentially we may continue bullish within the current weekly candle. So that is for the buyers. Now, further buy options, had this been any other normal day, and we had a nice strong closure above the resistance here at 2,313, then I would consider buying it. But seeing is what we've done within the current daily also, guys, and from these lows is we've created a series of well, obviously we've created a high, high, low, high, 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 low. Potentially be creating another high, high. So the structure coming off this support is technically bullish. The M30 structure is a tricky one. You could argue it's bullish, but because of this wick from the news, if you're to be really technical about it, it's actually bearish. So, but the macro trend is bullish. So this is similar to the the trade recap video I did over the weekend, but in the opposite direction. So within the current daily, we're trading bullish, high lows, high highs. So on any other normal day, we begin to close above the resistance formed just below the current daily counter high. I would be looking for short-term buy options to take it up to next level of resistance. We've got some resistance not too far higher up on the 30, but once again, if we are to continue bearish in line with that previous weekly candle, I feel there's a good chance that price could pop up to 2,325 roughly. Reject. Look for my catalysts such as support to form just below that resistance. As soon as price begins to pull away, close below that support, retest it and continue, I think there's a good chance at that point there we will eventually come back down towards the current weekly and previous weekly candles low. So for today, though, buys above support form within the current daily candle. Once again, we are to pull back and we are to continue bullish. We should not need to break any support formed on the way up. So in that case, we should remain above that blue zone, the support, and look for the buys. Having said that, if we start to pop below it, close below it, what we can see, we've got some clean traffic to the left. Could potentially be the highest point in the weekly candle, and we could move in line with the previous weekly. We don't really have any daily candle probabilities to suggest we break it, that we could obviously pull it back up and create high, low, high, high. We don't have that just yet. We're trading within the previous daily low and high. So if we begin to close below support form within the current daily candle, then I think there's a good chance price eventually could come back down towards 22.96, potentially retesting the lows of the current daily. So sells below would be definitely an option. Sells from the resistance, once again from higher up. If price does reject, obviously that could be, like as I mentioned before, potentially the highest point of the weekly, and buys above the support as long as we respect current daily candles low. Could even come down to the support a little bit lower down and still could potentially continue bullish, but I would like to see it respect the current daily candles low, form a support above it, and trust that we at that point there could continue to the upside. So that is gold, and that's more a longer stretched version of my usual analysis, guys, to anyone that's new. Reason being is because I'm trying to do the total outlook for the week, seeing we obviously bank holiday today, not all that keen to be looking for trades just now, but I'm just looking at what potentially we could be looking at moving forward towards obviously NY and into tomorrow. Today is gold, GJ and gold. As for GU and NAS, just join the free free Discord group, guys. The analysis is in there, so that's what I would suggest. In the meantime, how are we all doing? Welcome, Sean. Hope you're well. Yeah, I wasn't going to turn it on, to be honest. Wasn't going to turn it on, but the reason why I have done so is just to keep an eye on a few little things. If I get any sort of indication on anything that looks decent. Now, I don't know. Not necessarily trade it, but just let you guys know. So I'm looking at a few other confluences on the MetaTrader, which you guys don't see on TradingView. Some of those got some of the guys that coach know that secret. Some guys who I've known for years know that secret as well. Saxy, good day to you. Franco, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Elias, morning. Ghost Ray's stream working? Yeah, so I hope it is now. Nino, all good, brother. Hope you're well. I like it. It's chilled. The music, yeah, I like it too, to be honest. Joseph, hope you're well, brother. Alright, good morning to you. Don't have All good, man. All good. And good morning to you, my friend. All good. Busy weekend on my end. Moving forward, guys, what I would like to do on a Sunday is pretty much do this breakdown video and send it into the free Discord group. I may do them for individual pairs as opposed to one long video, so then you guys can just pick and choose what pairs you want to actually watch. I know a lot of you probably don't trade NAS and GU maybe, so you don't have to worry about watching that. Just break down like a Sunday sort of webinar into 4 sections with 4 different videos, obviously on each different pair. Hopefully that sounds good. And again, moving forward, even MY update videos will only be for Discord members. I'm not going to continue to record them onto YouTube. I might do the occasional one. I might continue for the time being, but moving forward, it'll just be for Discord members. I do plan to also do live MY calls with the Discord members more frequently, at least 2, maybe 3 times a week. That's another benefit you get from being part of the Discord group. Pompara, good afternoon to you. Brian, cheers to you. So pretty happy with the amount of viewers on stream. Didn't expect to have this many, to be honest, seeing it is the bank holiday. Guys, you know what to do. Just do me a favor and hit that like button. It'd be much appreciated. Share with me your thoughts too, guys. What are you guys looking at? Have you got any like different opinion on any of my analysis, or are you looking at any other pair in particular? What are your thoughts moving forward? Bitcoin's Xauusd. There's also a crypto section in the Discord, guys. You are welcome to just chat away in there. Let us know what coins you hold, what bags you hold. If you have any opinion of a coin, chuck it in there. You're more than welcome. Same with stocks. We do have a section for stocks. I will add some content to that eventually, but feel free, guys, if anyone does invest in any stocks, ETFs, any of that stuff, even bonds, whatever it is, feel free to voice your opinion. A little bit disorganized, guys. I've got papers everywhere because as soon as something comes to my mind, I just jot it down so I don't forget. It's a good habit to have, but it also needs to be a little bit more tidy, so I know what I've written down and where. Was it? This is a GU chart I sent into the Discord group. Once again, I did attach a video to it, a video update on GU moving forward. Likewise with NAS. A bit of volume popping into NAS. Good afternoon, greetings from Indonesia. Greetings to you from Melbourne, Australia, my friend. So we're almost 30 minutes away from what would usually be session open. We can already see there is an absolute lack of volume. I just want to see what the spreads are like on IC markets at the moment. Yeah, so they're about standard. Eyes are deceiving me. They're about below 1 pip, so between 0.5 and 0.8 roughly. But often you'll find that spreads widen a bit during bank holidays and that as well. The session when obviously London banks are closed, so the session is technically still open, never closes, but other than the weekend. But you just lack the volume, lack of liquidity. I mean, a lack of volume. So I will send in a little Zoom link to the Discord chat if anyone wants to join. Just say good day, ask questions, whatever. You're welcome. Remember the deal though, if you do join, make sure to watch on another device. Only for Discord members now. Greco, Justin liked the analysis touch with Vera, man, great value on your channel. Appreciate it, my friend. Yeah, I thought I'd do it a bit differently than usual. I mean, usually I just mark up a chart with some, obviously the arrows, the levels, green signifying what I believe to be a nice trading area. Plus, I usually, as you know, Franco and the other guys that I coach on that, I usually add a little description as to what I'd be looking for. But I think it's easier just to do a quick video, so that's what I'll probably do moving forward. Send the actual markup, and then also with the video analysis. The rest good morning to you. Hope you had a good weekend. Alright, so guys, we can just practice this, alright? I'm not taking it because of the bank holiday right now. I don't trust the volume. But we've got a decent candles just here. We've got a closure below the bows, the candles left. This is the strongest closure I've had so far. Let's check. So we're 2 minutes into the candle. This candle has created a low, it's created a high. But it looks like it could have potentially created the low wick first. Yeah, maybe. So within the current candle anyway, what we've done is create a low. We've pulled back within the candle to create upper wick. So essentially now, if we've begun to break our own low yet again, there'd be a high probability at that point that the price would make a deeper pullback, and potentially pull back down to create what could be a high low or an equal low. Seeing we are now in an uptrend on GJ, it doesn't necessarily have to pull all the way back to retest the most recent support. What it could do is pull up higher up, create a higher low, form support, and then continue in line with the trend. Obviously, we're creating some high lows, higher highs within the current daily. It could potentially do that. Where could it pull back to though? There's, like I mentioned before, the previous level of resistance we have broken out of. That would be a pretty good level to target for price to pull back, form a support above, and potentially head to the downside. So doesn't look bad, but I am not at all tempted to trade it. It's up to you guys. You'd be in it right now, and you'd be looking pretty good. So entry would have been just below the low. I love those entries when they pop down, then pop back up to create the upper wick and break their own low again. To me, they're highly probable entries. As long as you do have other confluences such as clean traffic to the left, be fantastic if you're rejecting a higher time frame resistance, or if you have 4-hour counter probabilities, that type of thing to the downside. To me, that would be a pretty good trade on a normal day. I don't trust the volume right now to be taking it. And had this pulled up a little bit higher, what I'd be doing to manage it is just stop loss above the current candle. A few pips above it, has no need to pull back up and break its own high again. So that on any other day would not be that bad of an entry. We remove that trade taken. It's been really good, guys. The last few weeks I'm on about, I think it's around 10 trade win streak, I'm pretty sure. 9 or 10, something like that. We've not had a loss on stream for I think about 2.5 3 weeks, and we've been taking trades nearly every stream. We've missed 1 or 2 streams, we haven't taken trade. We've called multiple wins on other pairs as well, so it's been really good. And again, when you have the patience and discipline just to sit, create the plan, and follow the rules that you set out prior to taking an entry, if your edge works for you, what's likely to follow is a pretty good result. It's likely, 7-8 times out of 10 if you know by your data, your back testing, your journaling, that you're going to be on the right end of things. So yeah, so that would be GJ, but not taking it today. Definitely not in this. Not interested in taking it. What confluences would there be on gold? You don't yet have a closure above, not even on 15, nor on the 5. Mini hourly looks pretty good. 4 hour is approaching the high of the previous, so I'm trying to gather confluences as to what would give me reason to take a trade on gold. See, I think you need a 5-minute closure minimum above that resistance to the left. Yeah, just lacking volume. All right, let's check the news anyway. Obviously, it's a bank holiday today in the UK. Today's the 6th. So nothing really. Pretty quiet day, news-wise. Not a lot going on. Big day for the Aussie tomorrow. So this is pretty relatively quiet week is for the US dollar anyway. There's obviously some high impact pound news to come with the monetary policy statement. Sure, bank rate, cash rate. So that's at 9 p.m. What's that? 12 p.m. I think it is. 12 p.m. on Thursday for those of you in the UK. But otherwise, it's a pretty quiet week news-wise. So probably better. day doing? But bouncing back up. So it's not a strong enough closure out of that consolidation. What you really need in that case is nice strong closure below. You still remain above that level on the previous candle. So if it closed more like so, then lower high, lower lows, it breaks. You're likely going to make a deeper pullback. But this is why I don't take impulse entries out of consolidation, because it's just, how do you know? Until you get that catalyst. Today, Monday. Discord guys, we'll consider doing a live MY call. We'll consider it. If I do so, that would be around 8:30 my time, 9 o'clock my time. So that's about midday, I think, for those of you in the UK. Good is Robbie. Good day to you. How was your weekend, my friend? Yeah, gold also just lacking, showing signs of exhaustion just below the current daily candles high. So if this was, again, any other normal day, what I would be saying right now is if this candle closed bearish engulfing on the 15, what it's going to do is close the 30-minute back bearish below the resistance, leaving a long wick, well, reasonably long wick to the upside, grabbing that liquidity from the range above, only to close back below into the original range. At that point there, there's a high probability that price will come back down to potentially retest support 23.10, 23.09. So if this were normal London session, that's probably what I'd be waiting for right now. Robbie, am I an Andrew Tate fan? To be honest, I probably was one of the last to know of who he was. I remember, I think guys asked me that last year or the year before, when I first started streaming on the old stream. People used to ask me, and I don't even know who he is. That just goes to show how much I watch shit on social media and all that. I know who he is now though. Am I a fan? No opinion really. I don't watch anything of his. He could be a top bloke, he could be an absolute cock, I have no idea. I don't pass judgment on people just from what I hear from others. If I have no communication or not watched anything of theirs, who am I to pass judgment? I've been told many times by people that so-and-so is an absolute wanker. And my experience with that particular person is that I find them a decent person. They're fine to me. So if someone doesn't like something of what they do or their character, up to them, but it doesn't mean that everyone else has to follow. You decide for yourself. One day I won't buy a Bugatti. I've mentioned this many times. I'm not interested in sports cars. Not interested in one bit. I like a big truck. Or driver, truck. Just anything big car. Give me a tank. I'd rather drive that. It's gold pushing now. Rejecting that resistance. It's very choppy on the 5 minute. Yeah, so once again, I've been waiting for London. See, what you might get now is that strong 15-minute closure, and we're getting some free education, guys. So within the 30 minutes, so if the 30-minute closes strong bearish, 15 is just closing just now, and it's closed obviously a very strong bearish candle. What I'd be looking for now on the second 15-minute candle of the M30 is that weak support to form. So I'd like to see the second 15-minute candle. So let's go back to the 15 for a sec. So that's the closure of the previous M15. It's obviously a strong bearish engulfing candle. I'd like to see now this candle to close weak bullish. Now ignoring the current candle as it's printing. I mean, that's if it closes as is. Obviously it's pulling back a bit higher. But what that's going to look like is on the 30 minute, the current candle and this candle, if it closes like this, it's going to look pretty much like that. So a strong bearish candle closure at resistance. We can go back to the 30 minute now. And within it, we've got that pause, that 15-minute pause, that minor support. Now, if price was to continue bullish, then what it should do is it should not pop below this support, and it should just come back down, inspect it, and back up, high, low, high, high, continue to the upside. However, seeing we've formed that support, and we've got a 30-minute candle closing bearish at the same time, if we were to begin to pop below it, then what we're likely going to do is head back down. We've got obviously on a 30 clean trap to the left. We're rejecting a previous level of resistance. What we may have done is just grab liquidity from the range above. We begin to break below that minor pause, that support formed within the 30-minute catalyst bearish candle. But there's a high probability at that point price will come back down to the next support. So that's what I'd be looking at. Again, this is free education, guys. Even if I'm not really looking to take anything at the moment, still get gold nuggets for nothing. I had a good session over the weekend, and I thoroughly covered this particular entry and what I like about it. Be interesting to see if it did play out just now. Sexy G-Wagon. Mr. Phil, good morning to you. Sexy, previous for a push was probably due to the war news. That's why I'm uncertain about the daily price. Oh, was there some news? Was there? Okay. I would have thought that'd have a little bit more significance to it than just yellow. It's never gonna end over there. It's wishful thinking. It will never end. No matter what. So yeah, potentially that was 11 hours ago, so it could be market reaction during the day. So yeah, could potentially. It's also, I just realized that it's a Japanese holiday as well, bank holiday. So all the more reason as to why not to trade GJ at the moment. You just realized that it's a yen holiday as well, bank holiday in Japan as well. So let's see if that does present. If that 15 now closes week bullish. Once again, that would be on a normal day a nice sell option for me at London Open below the week bullish candles low. Robbie, how many car or truck you have currently? In all ones that I've purchased, 2. One was for my ex, then the son of my mum. That's a Honda Civic, a sports RS. It's a nice car, but again, it's too low. I really don't like driving it. I prefer to drive the Hilux any day of the week. We've got a Hilux Revo as well. Beautiful car. Currently I'm here in Oz. I'm driving a Honda CR-V. It's four-wheel drive, nice car, comfortable. I love the seat warmers, they're fantastic. Really good, those leather seat on the leather seats when you jump in on the morning, a cool morning. Bloody cold, so the seat warmers do their thing pretty quickly, which is good. It's a comfortable car. I'm not fast on cars, to be honest. I plan on eventually getting probably a Ranger or something like that. Nothing too crazy, but something for obviously I'm talking about overseas, not here. I also have a car I'm driving. It's not really mine though, it's my brother's, but a Nissan Pathfinder, which is again a bigger car. That's actually a beast of a car. It purrs. It's actually a really nice car. Sexy. A couple extra. Oh, okay. So gold is dropping just now. So another confluence and catalyst for me, if this just drops and continues to drop, will be bearish engulfing. So as data prints, as the candles print, again, I'm asking myself all different questions. As long as it's at a level that I potentially look to get involved in a trade. So right now I've identified a level of resistance. If price was to remain below that level of resistance, I could see potential options to sell it. So I'm seeing it's at that level. Again, I just ask myself what I want to see. I have a few different things that I like to see. A few different catalysts. You guys know of them. You hear me talking about them all the time on stream. So right now, if any of those tick the box, that's what, you know, would persuade me on a normal day to look for a trade. Still could close back week bullish. And that would still be, in my opinion, a really nice sell option at what would normally be London Open. Mr. Phil, quick question. If you execute a trade based on the WOW time frame, do you worry about what's happening in 15 time frame? No. Look, I'll look to see where we could potentially reject. But if the hourly is my confirmation time frame, my catalyst time frame, the time frame I generally execute on, I would avoid most of the noise on the lower time frames. I'd probably look at a 30 at 15-foot potential targets, but not if, let's just say, if there's a pause and you're looking for a buy right now and there's a little bit of 15-minute resistance, but you're early into the hourly candle, whatever, I would not let that put me off. Because the hourly, there's no resistance, clean traffic. I'd focus more on the actual time frame you're executing upon. Hopefully that makes sense. Probably, I think you like simple life, no fancy life. Like me, simple life, God is enough. Yeah, I prefer to keep things simple, man. I don't need all this materialistic crap. There you go, even the old lady says in the background. I'm not sure if you heard that. But I was just talking to the dog, by the way. I think it's the way I've been brought up. My old lady still works every day of the week and she's 77 years old, so fit as a fiddle. So I probably learnt a lot from her. She just leads a simple life. She has everything she needs. Not interested in buying the latest gadgets and all that. She gets pretty much hand-me-downs as far as TVs and all that. So and on the flip side right now, if this closed bullish engulfing, I'd 100% look to buy at London Open on a normal day, without doubt, because the current daily, as I mentioned before, within it, we're trending bullish, high lows, higher highs, would be breaking through the resistance, closing above it, engulfing the sellers that popped into the market at a level I would expect them to pop into the market if we were to continue bearish. So we're essentially stopping them out as well by closing back above. In my opinion, we're wiping them out. Then what I'd be looking for is London Open, lower wick, entry. Very, very simple. 30 is going to close. You've got multiple counters with long wicks into the range below, rejecting, closing above it. And there's a good chance if it did close right up at its high, that London Open could just pop straight up. Life of Blues, GJ, retreating. Yeah, this is a mess. It's the lack of volume. Both the currencies have had bank holidays today, both the nations of Japan and also obviously the UK. All right, so far it's all pullbacks for longs. Look at 2,316 area for a rejection. The current daily's high, just above that. Yeah, I see potential rejection 2,317, a 30-minute zone, but once again, based off the high time frame analysis, there's a chance that we could pull up towards 2,324 before we reject. Now it's pulling back a bit, so there we go. Once again, if this was a normal day, I've got my rules. Weak bullish support, so this candle will have to close with long wick up and start to pull back for that potential sell, or bullish engulfing, and I will look for the buy. That's simply the rules I'd be setting right now if I was to take a trade. Robbie, you said you are not married. Not married, but I do have a beautiful girlfriend I'm more than happy with. Who knows the future? She's a wonderful girl. Compara, I can sense you're a good-hearted person. Thank you, my friend. I like to think I am. Always treat people with respect, as long as they treat me with respect, and if they don't, just don't give them the time of day. In all honesty, don't waste time with them. Dicky001, GU. Yes, consolidating. Join the free Discord, my friend, if you have not done so. I've done some full-on analysis with a video breakdown of GU. And NAS as well, for anyone who does trade NAS. It's all here, guys. Make sure to join the free Discord group. There's GU. Chart marked up varies, and also an actual video breakdown about 5 minutes long. You've got the 4 hour trying to engulf the previous, but you want to obviously have that confirmation unless you wait 2 hours, and if it does close above. Aside from that, you've got a 30-minute resistance you're pushing deep in towards. think this candle closed in the next minute and a bit, right up near that high. We'll be waiting for lower wick, and then I think potential impulse entries could be an option had this been a normal day. Otherwise, rejection of current level for sales back down. Oh, it's a little bit indecisive. GJ looks like it might want to potentially come down. This is similar to the gold trade in the recap video, except it's not trending down. But actual price action is very similar. We had a little bit, if you guys can remember, had a little bit of a pullback, which looked somewhat like this, only to be followed by a strong bearish candle. Closed right near the low of the bullish, not quite engulfing. And what happened was, the open of London session, it popped down to create lower wick, tapped into the low of the previous bearish candle at that point, pulled back to create upper wick. Did say on stream, not entering if it doesn't create an upper wick. Pulled back to create a significant upper wick. As soon as it created upper wick, I set the sell stop below the low, entry, and that was a really quick trade. That was a really nice win. Looking similar, except what we don't have is the structure forming. So on gold, we have this. GJ, we're essentially just consolidating, so it's more risky when you're coming from consolidation, but does look good. Does look very good. It looks better than gold at the moment. So let's watch GJ. What's gold? I'm just following gold on the metro. Yep. All right, let's watch GJ. No lower wick. Yeah, that's not great. When I see that no lower wick, what I would prefer to see happen is instantly as the new candle opens, I would prefer it to pop down a couple pips, and that is likely to be that leftover sort of volume that you may have had from that previous candle. Pull back to create a, you know, lower wick of a couple pips, then start to do what it's doing now. Quickly pull back up and flip bullish. Create the upper wick. Then what I do is set a sell stop back below the low, and I feel comfortable that it would continue to the downside. So that should be red. In that sort of situation where it's got no lower wick, I want it to pop down first, pop up, creates upper wick, and if it breaks again, so as soon as it pops up, creates a significant upper wick like it's doing so now, I'd place the sell stop below the low of the current candle. In this sort of situation, had this candle had a bit of lower wick, pop straight up, then I'd place the sell stop below the low of previous candle. Wouldn't need it to create lower wick first of all. $24 likes. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button. You get free knowledge for nothing here. And make of it what you will. I'm not saying I'm the best trader in the world, but I'm competent. I'm confident in what I do. I've been trading for more than 7 years now, so this shit works for me. That's what I'm sharing with you. Gold right now, nothing. Good to see this dog that you hear in the background. He's poor thing. Poor thing. They've used him. He's the dog groomer wanted to use him for some competition, clipping competition, and she absolutely butchered him. I don't know what she did. He looks like a little runt, like a little sheep or something. It doesn't suit him. It's hilarious because people down the street, like, what happened to him? Robbie, can we see you both together now? Who? My girlfriend and I? No, you can't because she's not here. She's overseas, so we don't live in the same country. Later in the year, if I hopefully I'll be permanently in Thailand by that point then. And then you'll obviously see, or she might hopefully come here beforehand. Zolt the Bolt. Good day to you, Zolt. Hope you're well, brother. Think we're a long-term relationship. Well, obviously regular communication. Having trust in one another. I have full trust now. I know she's a really good girl. Contact her whenever I want and she'll always answer. Send me nice messages throughout the day. Yeah. Known her for a long time. Known her for a long time. So she's keen to come here. She really wants to come here. So we're in the process of looking at the visas and that. Oh, you mean living in separate countries is a secret? Because you're not constantly at each other's throats, you mean, and side by side all the time. Oh, I don't know. I was recently there for 6 weeks and yeah. We always get along really well, so. So you see what I mean, guys? This is London Open. It's just consolidating. Do you? No, upper wick. Oh no, lower wick. Sorry, it's definitely gone upper wick. Yeah, I would not be entering nothing on GU just now. It's got no lower wick. I've just let it do its thing. See what happens. See where this counter closes. It could be options on the following. Could be a limit order buy option. Yeah, I'd definitely be waiting. Or if this 15 closes strong bullish, followed by a weak bearish closure on the following, you're above this resistance and buys on the next M30s, breaks the high of what would be previous, the current candle. EJ. With gold has no volume. Solange, does she have any friends who are boys? She actually does. She has a close friend of hers from her village. Staying with her right now, just helping her out. I'm a really good judge of character, and I know this one is a quality person. So maybe she got quality friends. I know quite a few of them. They are nice people. EJ retracing a bit, so probably a little bit, perhaps a little bit more volume on EJ. The euro still in session. Obviously there's no bank holiday over in Europe, so EU, is that moving a bit more? Not really, it's doing nothing. What do you guys think of the recap video? Send a link to it into the chat, actually. good to see we're over 700 subs now, guys. So it's growing quite quickly. So if you haven't subbed already, if you are new to the stream, make sure to do so. We really, I mean, it's been going really well. Been taking some quality trades, calling some quality trades. We're not taking a loss on stream for, you know, I don't touch wood, but it's been pretty much 3 weeks. Been trading predominantly gold. I mean, it's sometimes GJ, not often, but more so gold. Also look at GU. Had a few guys and myself call some nice trades on GU. Franco, obviously, been killing GU. James as well, who you guys often see on the stream, but he's not in, he's away this week, I think. Myself and Naz as well, been calling some nice trades Naz with a few of the guys in the chat. So Sade, gold. Yeah, it's nothing. It's just that there is no momentum in anything right now. It's just consolidating at this resistance. So if I was to look for a sell, what I want to see in the next 5 minutes is the bearish engulfing. And that is simple rule I'd be setting, because I need something to provide a catalyst. We're essentially just consolidating. The catalyst would be bearish engulfing, wiping out the buyers at that level. Upwards form new candle, sell as it breaks low of the previous. Starting to move into some cleaner traffic based of 15. Still not clean, but you've got a little bit margin to support. Probably enough to secure maybe about 10 to 15. Not really, not even that. So it's just clutch, picking out straws right now. Literally, there is nothing. And as I mentioned before, for the buyers, wish engulfing, it didn't happen. So probably need just a nice strong closure above the current daily candles high now. Short market's pretty dead, bro. Thinking you're right. Just wait for NY. It's a no-brainer. I normally don't stream on these holidays, but I thought I'd do it just to, you know, chill out for you guys. Do some analysis, educate, talk a bit of smack, have a bit of a laugh, enjoy, relax, enjoy each other's company. It's either that or I'll probably be watching some basketball right now. It wasn't game today. Or perhaps playing some Xbox, which I've not done so in ages. Silent in Financial Juice said it had negative Spanish unemployment. AUD is always comes up as one of the stronger currencies, but when you look at the actual value of it, it doesn't really relate. It's just stuck between like 66.5 to 64.5. I wanted to go flying, better for me because I send money overseas. So it came out negative. Yep. German services PMI to come, is that correct? Yeah, all right. So Forex Factory don't seem to be too concerned by it, but I would have thought it'd be a pretty big one as well. So the forecast is for it to be same as the previous. So anything over 50 is deemed good as well. So could be strength for the euro. tomorrow. This is going to be interesting for the RBA here in Australia. It's predicted to be unchanged, but from what I've been hearing, they're expecting potentially up to 3 rate increases throughout the year, because it's the similar situation as to US. I suppose every major economy tends to follow the US. A lot of it's made up numbers anyway, but inflation is just at the moment just does the thing. It is not yet near under control, so they've been talking about potential hikes here. So I mean, if they do, just cheeky little, I don't know, small rise in the rate. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. In a monetary policy, interest rates, then what that could do is potentially provide obviously more strength for the Aussie, which would be great for me. And obviously it just depends what the RBA do say. I know some do trade AU, so they might be interested in this, not just talking about it for no reason. So if they do hint at potential rate increases, then that will also be good for the Aussie or the strength of the currency. So hopefully that's the case. I'll be loving that personally for me. GJ, so 15-minute has closed, bullish engulfing, nice strong closure. I'd be waiting for the 30. But now what you've done within the daily candle, higher low, higher high. Let's confirm the higher high, the closure above, and then it's likely to continue to the upside. Gold is just not doing shit, so yeah, some strength and power right now. Sean, don't think I'm going to go. All good, man. Not a problem. Saxy, what do you usually play on Xbox? Bit of 2K 24. Just downloaded the Masters Golf. Not a golf fan, but don't mind a sports game, so I've been playing that a little bit. I want to say a little bit, not for about 3 weeks. Last time I touched it. And the new Star Wars Fallen Order, I think it's called. Pretty sure it's what it's called. I managed to finish the first one. That was a cracking game. That was a really good game during COVID. So it was just released on Xbox Game Pass, the new one. So I thought I'll give it a download and maybe start playing a bit if and whenever I get time. And the reason I'm looking at 23.16 is because we have a liquidity pool there and a reaction will give you something. Maybe, but I have to see. Potentially could. Yeah, just answer that. Sean silent. Every time they say banks closed, someone's still moving the markets. Yeah, I know. It doesn't mean there aren't movements. It's just a bit less predictable. I mean, look at GJ now. G'day, Josh. Sorry, I just saw you there, man.
Good morning, mate. How are you?
All good. Just watching GJ do its merry thing, do whatever it wants to do. Flying.
No, good.
Oh. Yeah, so what I would like to see from GJ is a pullback within the current candle. 5-minute candle closing back bearish, tapping in to retest this resistance price is broken out of, and for the 30-minute to end up closing bullish above it. Then once again, on any other normal day, what I'd be looking for is, doesn't have to necessarily tap into that previous resistance, because we've done so within the catalyst candle on the 5-minute, but I'd want it to create just a small lower wick. As soon as it begins to break above the high, that for me would be a quality entry I would be happy to take every single day of the week. How was the weekend, mate?
It was a little bit stressful because I've how can I put the words correctly after waking up 50 minutes ago?
Hmm.
I've basically pulled a muscle off an extension muscle on my wrist since Wednesday.
Wow.
So it's quite swollen and bruised. So
Oof.
I've been having a very joyful time lifting heavy things while having a bad arm at work for the whole since Wednesday.
That's not good, man. How do you manage that?
I'm still trying to find out how. I'm still trying to figure out how that happened as well. It might be just lifting crates of potatoes that kind of
Yeah,
gave it away.
that'd do it. I'm sure that would do it.
Yeah. So it's swollen and it's quite uncomfortable. So I'm trying to make sure my arm is comfortable in a position where it's not going to strain much pain, because one of the things that can happen is if you put it back to its position on how the arm's supposed to be, in some dislocation area from the arm, it can just be very painful depending on where the area is of your wrist is as well.
It's no good.
So,
no gym for you then.
No, I'm due to be leaving to do the mountain hiking next week, so I really need to actually be training. So I'm a little bit disappointed, I suppose, the right word is, because I need to get it done.
It's bad timing.
It is the worst timing, mate, and especially I've got the hike the next Tuesday, because next Monday I'm flying to Glasgow International. Glasgow International to start the training and to start the hiking on the next day.
Okay. Where are you hiking? What's the mountain?
So the plan is for Monday to Thursday is we're going to be traveling to Scotland to do the Ben Nevis on the Tuesday, and then after the Ben Nevis climbing, we're going to be going to a youthful hostel in the evening to then climb the Scafell Pike, which is like around the Midlands area of the UK. It's still one of the highest peak mountains, but it's still something.
Yeah.
Then after that, on the next day, we are going to another youthful hostel in Wales, where we will be climbing Snowdon on the next day, but we'll be traveling back to home after we've done the climbing. So it's non-stop action basically, and after even traveling back and doing the climbing, I've got work the next day.
Straight back into it.
Yeah, straight back into it, mate. It will be a very busy week, but it will also be a relaxing week to some degree, because I am away from it.
Yeah, that's it. You don't have to worry about working the charts and that as well. De-stress.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of do want to step back from the charts a little bit, not because I've been putting too much commitment into it, but because, life always will resurge us into some degree where things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we need to be there for people that are in need more than the market, because the market's going to do its own thing regardless. It's not like it's going to go to the absolute skyrocket levels where, you come back, it's likely just to be the same areas of price levels, and, some predictable outcomes might occur. Like, you look at Bitcoin, for example, it hasn't done anything, so you're not going to worry too much about it, because that's a long-term investment, right?
Yeah.
If you look at, let's just say, a commodity, if you look at gold, it's going to be like the same thing. There's going to be overboards and there's going to be overselling. So you're not going to worry too much about it, because it's kind of predictable.
Yeah, the market's always be there anyway. It's always good to take a break.
It is good to take a break, absolutely. And, sometimes it's good to refresh your mind a little bit as well, especially if people been having kind of like a downtrend of basically not succeeding into profits or making captures of pips or ticks or points or whatever. Sometimes it's good to literally take a step back and just think about if it's worth actually taking at least a week or 2 weeks off, just get that mind refreshed a little bit instead of being so dedicated to do it every day. I know some people are going to say you need to be in a market every day to make some points, and it's just like not necessarily, because for example, and I did see the message on Discord, by the way, where for one day you can make 200 pips, where the next day you're gonna basically make nothing. You know,
the markets are different every day, so
yeah, absolutely.
No one knows.
What I actually wanted to shout into the mention of the message which was posted was, so I took the LFP sell on gold because the news overall was kind of like predictable. Like we had an overbought extension during FOMC, and we were focusing on the fundamental side of what's going to happen with the unemployment rate, what's going to happen with the interest rate, and what you can also look at, and this is kind of like a little bit of an idea for people that do focus on fundamentals, is if you look at the categories back of the results of last month of the news, you can kind of see where the market's going to go. So for me, people were going to buy gold because they just think it's the best option, but sometimes it needs to be sold off to even gain some more liquidity and to literally go back to the upside. I mean, I've just seen it go back to the upside just now, and you know, it had to sell before it goes back to the upside. That sometimes happens, and so I looked on the 1 minute time frame during NFP, and as soon as the buy stopped, I took a sell, and literally that played off in a way where it was my trade, it was my idea, and I thought it was going to work, and it did work. It paid off, and the good thing was I did not go like over leveraging my account to the point where you're just gonna over risk your lot size. I only took like an experiment, and this was like a test theory to see how much I can make out of just like a 0.01 lot size, and it was quite like a nice heavy profit regarding of making like 250 pips. In the end, I closed the trade up to 250 after it literally made that drop. So
nice one.
It's, you know, I do appreciate the fact that we should hold accountable to our trades, and I hope people do, instead of like, let's just say, steal other people's ideas of trades, where if you kind of do that, you're not going to make some appreciation for yourself. You're just going to be copying other people's trades, and you're not going to learn the market if you're going to do it that way. Sometimes you need to learn from yourself, and we all do these things where we should be focusing on what the candlestick should be opening and closing. We should be focusing on if there's going to be confirmation patterns going to be occurring. You know, at the end of the day, if you don't focus on education, and all you're going to do is ask for buys or sells, or if you're going to copy other people's trades, what are you doing actually in the long term? Is likely you're just going to keep doing that all the time, and you're likely going to be copying somebody's trades 24/7, where they are likely not going to make much profit at all. Let's just say 75% chance you could make a profit, but the other 25%, you're not going to make much profit. And I bet you that 25% is going to be the ones where you're going to be over risking your management. You know,
Yeah.
you want to, in some degree, focus on your errors, but all you're going to be doing is focusing on the people's charts and how they set up and how they're going to be taking entries.
All right, mate.
Majority of the time, I just, I focus on when I take my trades, when I set up my trades.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't set up the charts because I have a naked eye and I can see when things happen. There's a lot of people that just do it naked.
Yeah, no. Sorry to cut you off, brother, but I want to just go over this because the candle's about to close. And I just want to mention, see, we've got now, what I was saying before, within the catalyst candle, we've got candles closing back bearish, we've got the tap in to that previous resistance. We're going to close above. The new candle should just create a little bit of low wick. So it breaks the high, it's likely going to continue to the upside. That is, it's ticked the box. You've got that closure, you've got the tap in. You're remaining above that resistance. It looks likely just to open, create a small low wick, and begin to pop above. It's gonna be, again, a good option. You could pull back and retest that zone. If it does so, even greater confluence. But GJ looks pretty good for continuation. Gold, someone's asking. You've got the closure above. For me, very, very impulsive any entry based off that previous 30-minute candle. So now that you've got the closure above, again, it's burst through that. It's tapped into a level that I mentioned. It could potentially tap into based off of 30, this level here. So right now, for me, there's nothing on gold because that's the move. I'd rather wait for it to set up again. I'd be waiting for a pullback if it were me, or a bit of a pause to form, whether it be on 15 or 30, and then look for potential continuation buys on maybe the following hourly candle. But right now, and it happens, guys, sometimes this happens, it will just pump from consolidation or melt from consolidation. The thing is, how do you know it's going to be the candle make the move? The only confluence you have is really the fact that it's what normally would be market open. It's obviously bank holiday today, so still going to be people trading, obviously, still robots trading and that. A lot of hedge funds and that would have turned off for today over in the UK, but there still is moves. It's just not so predictable. I mean, this comes from consolidation. I wouldn't be taking this on a normal day either way, so I wouldn't be stressing it, guys. Just let it set up again, let it pull back, form support to buy it, let it pause. If not, look for continuation buys after the pause. So even if this 15 closed bearish, followed by what could be the next candle closing back a bullish candle like so, you got that pause, then you could set the buy limit order back at the high of that bearish candle. We don't stress it, we let candles print. Sometimes candles just make a move without the right confirmation for us to get involved in a trade. So that is my opinion of gold right now, for anyone asking. What's GJ doing? Yep, GJ, if it broke the high, I think it's a good chance we'll continue up. That's just my 2 bobs worth. One's here. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, man. It's
no,
just because it was candle closed, I want to just address that.
Yeah, there's no problem at all. Yeah, so at the end of the day, as us, we should be held accountable for our errors instead of just like saying, "Oh, it's this person's fault or it's that person's fault." You know, the more you keep making excuses, you're just not going to become a better person, and you're just going to do volumes.
True.
Even as a trader, so
100%.
What people should just do is, you know, try and learn a little bit independent. Try and learn by yourself. If you need help, you know, follow yourself into the right people, and they'll give you some guidance. And just try your best not to fall into scams where, you know, that's just going to be like the way where people are just going to fall into the trap.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I've had to take my experience by my own hands sometimes. Sometimes I had to lose trades and accept that it was my fault until I had to go back and educate myself a little bit. And when I sometimes trade alone, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't work out. You know, it happens. But sometimes it's good to also follow into a group of people, because then you're not trading alone, which I get that, and I do acknowledge that very much. So it just depends on the person, I suppose. But yeah, it's important just to hold yourself accountable. It's like what you said on Discord. It's more important to hold yourself accountable and give yourself credit for making those trades, instead of not explaining the type of trades where did you copy somebody's trade in that type of theory
Yeah.
for question. And if you did, when are you ever going to make yourself accountable? When are you going to take a specific trade where you're going to say to yourself, I took that trade and I'm proud of taking that trade, you know?
Yeah, it's always good if you can follow your own analysis and your own plan, as opposed to, I don't know, the thing is with anything, the herd mentality, and sometimes you're all looking at the same thing, you just requires maybe one person is slightly more confident to actually agree with it, and then, you know, you're likely going to follow. But like you said, it's a good way to do it is by making sure you're following the right people. I like to think I'm a good person to follow, because it's not all, you know,
well, yeah, absolutely.
It's not all, what do they call it? Roses and, what's that saying? Chocolates and roses or whatever.
I've never heard of that before.
Strawberries and roses, some shit like that. So
Okay,
I don't say it's
sunshine and roses.
That's it. Who
How you doing, Justin?
Oh, Leon. Good day, mate. How are you?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Fantastic. Good to have you on the stream.
If my Wi-Fi is rubbish, just tell me to mute, because I've got pretty bad Wi-Fi today.
All good, man. All good. No, you're coming through loud and clear, so you sound good. Yeah, that's exactly what I was looking at. Was trying to say anyway, but it's true, because it's not. I mean, you know it yourself as well. You've had some unlucky experiences with trading. We've all had bad experiences at times, but it's all part of it, and important to learn from all that.
It is part of it, and I kind of think that sometimes you have to hit rock bottom before you learn your lessons, and I think that's just a part of trading, really.
Yeah, exactly. But it's how you pick yourself back up from it. So
yeah, exactly.
So it requires being consistent with your routine and making sure you're still on the charts. You're not giving up. Because giving up's the easy option. So we don't do that.
Yeah, that's the difference, isn't it?
Exactly.
A lot of people just quit. So
yeah, a lot of exactly.
Trade looks good.
What's that?
GJ looks good. GJ looks good.
Yeah, I mean, based off that 5 minute, I like the fact that we got 30-minute closure above. Just tapped in. I'm not in the trade though, guys. I'm not trading today. Not during London session anyway. But again, it's free education, so I hope you guys understand it. You got a few confluences here. You got, first of all, the catalyst of the 30-minute closing above the resistance, creating high within a current daily candle. You got that confirmation. Within that catalyst candle, you got 5-minute closing above, closing back bearish, tapping back in to retest that zone. Then what will likely happen on a following candle, the new M30, if it creates a low wick, it doesn't necessarily have to retest that zone, because you've already done that within that 30-minute catalyst candle closed above. So what it will likely do is just create a small low wick. As it begins to break and create a higher high, at that point there, it's likely to continue to the upside. So it's good to see it playing out. And yeah, would have been, by the looks of it, pretty nice trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a bit of a longer term trade on GJ.
Yep. You're in a buy or?
I'm in a buy, yeah, I'll send my thingy in the Zoom link.
Yep, you.
I don't know how to send the link.
To the Zoom, you should be able to.
I just copy link and then send it over.
So Leon actually posts regular video updates into the Discord group. He doesn't trade the same as me, different style of trading. But at least, you know, it's good to see that he's making the effort to post pre-analysis as well. And then also he'll...
Yeah, I'm trying to... do you know what it is? I'm trying to... sometimes I get frustrated that I can't explain myself very well, so I'm trying to get a little bit better at it. And I thought, you know, the only way to get better is to, you know, put yourself out there and do some videos. And
yeah, I think so. Hold yourself accountable that way.
That's it.
Gold is just pumping. I saw it on my MetaTrader spiking up.
Yeah, it's trying to overtake Friday's highs, and it looks like it's going to. Yeah,
I think it just has. So, yeah, for me, gold, like, in line with the higher time frame analysis and the outlook for the week, it's almost pulling back into the level I want to see it reject. So, I'd be keeping an eye on gold moving forward into MY for potential rejection of that zone, and if it starts to pop above it, then could be off to the races on gold. I want to see a bit of exhaustion though, seeing it's pushed quite far already. Yeah. Wow, it's a big push.
Yeah, this definitely feels like, man, this is like the aftermath of NFP as well. That's the thing people need to bear in mind as well, because we had that on Friday, and if we looked at the fact of what the results were at NFP, it was negative.
I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know. Actually, it was, wasn't it?
So
did hear it.
That's all right. So let me guide it a little bit on the news results. So, 1 second.
Wow, it came out 175. Wow, that's well off, wasn't it?
Okay, so yeah. So what we're looking at with NFP is if NFP became where is it?
So just 1 second, Leon. We'll go over this in a moment. We'll get you to explain what you're looking at.
Yeah, no worries.
You're going, Josh.
Yeah, so it's more important that we focus on why NFP came to the way it did. So, in the reason of it is, it's the actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So,
yeah,
the problem with what we had was, when it came to gold, was the news actually became very much negative compared to being so positive. So, as it was 175k, that was a good number for the currency to spike up. But if we look at the other news that we had, that came to average our earnings, a 0.1% lower. And if you also look at, let's have a look, the unemployment rate, that was also a negative number, which was quite interesting. A red number, sorry. If it came to a positive number, like 3.7, like it has been for the past couple of months, then it would have gave more reason to have a price flip. So my conclusion of it is, I believe it was more down to the unemployment perspective than the actual news. But we also had like the CPI, not CPI, sorry, the PMIs, the job earnings, the FOMC that we had on Wednesday. That would have added all the build up to make the price go a bit lower. This is kind of like the aftermath to make price a little bit, to make the price corrected, there's always going to be some price correction after the day after. And it seems to be the case that's what's happening now. The price is correcting itself because there's no way that will spike up for a reason.
Fair point.
Hopefully that does make sense. If it doesn't, then I apologize.
No, I get your point, mate. Yeah, look, obviously we just see it's spiking up now, so looks like it's gonna potentially continue. But as Dureska's just mentioned, the reason Netanyahu rejects truce talks, yeah, it's never gonna stop over there. So as long as you've got shit like war and that going on, we've got inflation, all that sort of stuff, gold is just going to continue up, in my opinion. That's just what my honest opinion. I could be 100% wrong. Who knows? No one knows. No one has a crystal ball. But that is why I trade based off technicals, and why I look for small scalps in the market. I'm not interested in holding trades for long. So for those who always say you'll never be a successful trader if you don't understand the fundamentals, I say that is a crock of shit, to be honest. Yes, it's important to know about it, but I'm just after 2-3 hours of a day maximum usually. I'm looking to see where I can get involved to grab my 10, 15, 20 pips. The only time I really need to be focused on what's going on is if it's happening while I'm on the charts. Of course I need to be aware of that, but otherwise, just focus on what's in front of you. React once you have the right confirmations to do so. So obviously mark up your charts, determine what levels you want to get involved. Once price is at a level, ask yourself what you want to see. Simple as that. If it ticks the box, you enter. Just be wary of what's around in the news for your session, of course. And it's interesting to know what could happen, and I like economics and all that. But I'm not so worried about fundamentals when it comes to my trade, to be honest. I'm aware of them, but I'm not so concerned by them. Just quickly, I'll be back in 2 seconds, guys, and then Leon will have a look at your chart. Just give me 2 seconds. If you want to keep chatting, whatever, all good. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute up. All right, so let's take a look at Leon. If you're still there, if you want to explain your chart, your entry, by all means, go for
it. Yeah. So just briefly, then that I trade in ranges. So that blue dot to blue dot, that's my bottom one is my strong low, and that's my weak high. But I'm just basically targeting this liquidity. I mean, this wick up here with that blue box is like a 280 pip block, and I'm just anticipating price to come back and retest that. So I'm just took buys from there. After, if you look on the lower time frame, you'll see there's a big build up of liquidity before it sweeps it to the upside. So I'm just.
Oh, you're talking about up the top end or the bottom?
Yeah, just targeting that sort of blue box really to take out that liquidity over there. Just retest that. But
so what's oh, sorry, you continue, then I'll ask a question.
Yeah, no, carry on, mate. Sorry.
No, I was just going to ask you. So what sort of confirmation do you look for though? Is it just literally based off the order block, or do you wait for a candle to close, or what is your confirmation?
On the, you can see these wicks here just before I entered. On the lower time frame, that's
Just here?
just to build up liquidity. Yeah, and I entered as after the liquidity is taken. So that liquidity, that build up into that blue dot is like an imbalance on the higher time frame. So once it built that imbalance and took out the liquidity, I got in on.
Okay.
But this is my range from blue dot to blue dot. So I target, I trade from internal to external. So this was the internal liquidity, which is just swept and anticipating to go and take out the external, which is the high. But I don't, where price is on, like it got up to 200, then dropped heavy. I don't expect it to keep pushing higher, to be honest. But I do expect it to come and tap this blue box because price needs to really balance and it built up this liquidity here. But it's without getting too involved. Just took it out. Took long once we took out that liquidity. Really.
Okay, interesting. So
but I trade with bigger stops and a bit more high time frame. So
you're holding positions for longer.
Although it's pushed like 150 pips, I do have a 90 pip stop, so it's but I'm probably going to get out around about 3 hours. So hopefully it gets there.
All right. So do you manage it along the way? Do you at some point get to break even, or do you at some point secure partials, or you just let the whole thing ride basically once you're in?
I just let it run, to be honest, because I'll get more annoyed if I get tapped out at break even and then it starts pushing than I would if it just went down and hit stop loss, to be honest.
Okay, interesting.
So,
and you're finding this like with this style of trading, with as far as emotions and that, it doesn't really affect you. You don't find yourself checking in every hour or half an hour, with seeing things change a lot.
I do check it, but for me, I think it's better for me, really. I used to trade lower time frames and
a little bit
this is a lot. I find it a lot more relaxing just to exactly.
It's funny that, because this just shows the different side of of opinions from two different traders. Because for me, I found, to be honest, looking for longer term trades to be more stressful. I found it while my emotions, I was getting more involved based on my emotions with the actual management side of things and that. Whereas it's the total opposite for scalping with me. Total opposite.
I find this suits me a lot more. Like I used to trade when I first started learning this style of trading. I used to trade 1 minute, 5 minute time frames, and I just found like I'd take the correct trade and almost like I'd lose when I take a loss. I'd lose so quickly that I didn't have enough time to sort of process it, and that is when I'd revenge trade. Whereas when I'm swing trading, I have a bit more time to process that. Okay, I'm probably going to take a loss here. I don't react off emotions as much, but it's it's what suits you, isn't it? At the end of the day?
Exactly. So there you go. I mean, I know a lot of people say that with the scalping, that it just play on their emotions more. So it's just funny.
Also, it's like you trade during that session, don't you? So you trade during London session mainly, whereas I don't particularly need to show up to London session. I can trade whenever, because
price gets to one of those levels. Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not.
So I don't really. Yeah, because I used to sit at the charts for like 3-4 hours in the morning, but now I just an hour
literally
or
mark in some levels, couldn't you? You could pretty much set alerts, couldn't you? Yeah. All right. That's interesting.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what I do.
Yeah. Look, to be honest, I wouldn't mind. What's that?
It's not for everyone.
No, it's not.
You got to find what works for you, haven't you?
Well, that's it. And I've coached guys in the past, and ladies for that matter, who don't have the time to be sat in the charts for like 2 hours in one particular time of the day or whatever. They can only really afford to check the charts maybe 2-3 times a day, and I've suggested to them maybe trade the exact same way I trade, but based off the 4 hour and using maybe using the hourly as your entry, if you know what I mean, like 4 hours at catalyst, but then check back like when your price is at a level on the 4 hour whatever, and you've got your 4 hour resistance forming, then keep an eye based off the hourly, like as your in between time frame type of thing. So like if you've got a resistance form and it's a weak resistance on a 4 hour, it's a weak bearish closure, then look at the hourly. Is it, if you get an hourly closing weak bullish, look for that exact same sort of entry I always talk about based on the 15, things like that. So it just suits, you know, whatever suits you as far as time wise and that. So I'm talking about like this, if the 4 hour closes like so, a weak sort of candle, wait for a little bit more confirmation, an hour weak bullish candle, so that's the first hourly of the new 4 hour, then sell it. If you know, if you can be on the charts, check it maybe, you know, once every few hours or whatever, that could be better suited for you. But you just need to have wider stop loss, wider target.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just going to take longer to play out, and you can have bigger stops. So
exactly. Whereas for me, it just didn't work going to bed overnight knowing, unless I was safely in profit with, you know, trading at the stop or something. But otherwise, I just found it difficult.
It can be a bit tedious sometimes. You do have to deal with different emotions when you sort of swing trade, because you could be like this GJ. Like I'm in a trade on euro pound as well, which I've been in since last Monday.
Mentioned.
And I was just holding around for most of the week, and then it pushed on Friday. But it pushed, and now it's pulling back. So you have to be able to deal with going into profit, then coming back into you know, maybe into drawdown again, and you know, and that's after sort of 5 or 6 days. So it does sort of play with your emotions a little bit, but
definitely.
Yeah, you just got to learn to adapt to it. Really.
Exactly. That's something I just could not deal with, honestly. Just lost many hours overnight, many hours of sleep overnight. Yeah. Because I should not.
But I kind of feel like, you know, the less stress you can take out of trading, the better it is.
Exactly.
Especially for me. So
100%.
That's what I found is most relaxing.
That's it. If it works for you. And for me, to make scalping relaxing is simply it ticks the box or not, and just not taking any trade based on emotion of what I want it to do.
Yeah, having that rule.
Having the rules. For,
if it doesn't set up, then don't take it.
100%. So again, it's just whatever works for you, and you've, you know, found something that resonates for you, and that's fantastic. You know, if you can make something work, then fantastic. That is the main thing.
That's it, man.
Yeah, we had a good discussion during the NY call last Thursday when I first started the Discord. So do get in there, guys, because I will do regular or more regular NY calls, live NY calls, but only for the Discord. I don't stream it on YouTube. We did call a nice trade on GJ during that session as well, which a few of the guys did take. I didn't personally take it. I'm really strict in my trading. Took a nice win that day. No need for me to trade. Yeah, so if you have not joined the free Discord group, link down below, I would suggest doing so. You get market update, regular update, charts, markups, analysis videos. Like I mentioned, Leon trades differently. He sends in his opinion of the markets as well, little video recording. You're all welcome to do so. And I do encourage you all to send in analysis charts and ask questions. Highly recommend it.
I've got a random question for you, Justin.
Go for it. Ask away.
It is a bit random. As you're an Aussie, have you seen a show called Mr. In Between?
No, that doesn't ring a bell, to be honest. Should I know it?
It's an Australian guy, but it's a really good show, and
is it?
Just recommend it.
Oh, okay. Is it something new, or is it it's a comedy series or something?
It's quite funny, but it's he's basically an Aussie. He's like a bit of a gun for hire sort of character. But it's quite funny actually. But it was probably one of my favourite shows. But the only reason I mentioned it because it's an Australian show.
Okay.
And
no, I can't say.
Or maybe you'd seen it.
Okay.
Give it a watch whenever you. I think it's on. Might be on Disney.
Okay, I've got Disney.
But yeah, it's worth watching.
We'll keep it in mind. Definitely keep it in mind.
I think it's quite unheard of, so I don't think many people have seen it.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Anyway,
know
that's a bit random. I know.
All good.
Yeah.
All good. We'll make sure to suss it out.
Yeah, give it a watch.
I don't watch much TV, to be honest, man. It's just busy, really busy, because obviously trading is off an evening for me. So, but the basketball season will be finishing shortly, because that's pretty much what I do once I chill out after the training. Just catch up with whoever played in basketball that day. Watch it on replay on League Pass, but I'll have more time because that's ending in the next month or so.
I've gone on for sports. So I used to really like football, but it bores me a little bit now. I really like Formula One. That's probably my favourite. But
yeah,
yesterday was good, but
never gone into Formula One.
Every week now, so.
Never gone into it, to be honest. So
you never gone to see it when it's in Melbourne.
I used to work there, man. I used to do well, mainly overnight, but I was sometimes during the actual daytime, during the session time, I was at work. But yeah, I used to work for a catering company.
Oh, really?
But we used to set up like the marquees and maintain the marquees and things like that. So
okay, so you got free tickets then, basically.
Pretty much, but yeah, but most of it was done overnight, what we did. So
yeah,
you cannot be bothered, to be honest.
If you don't follow Formula One, it's wasted ticket, isn't it?
Basically. So to be honest, it was, it wasn't my cup of tea because it's bloody loud. If I was to be there during the day, but it was just commotion because it was too busy. It was way too busy. So we even if we, could see it, we were just too busy to worry about it. So
yeah.
Yeah, please check GJ. Yeah, it just doesn't have the volume because that should have probably made the move in that previous candle. So GJ, what I'd be doing now is moving his support down. And we've already retested this zone on 5 minute. It could still do so on a 30 minute. So it's one of two things now. I'd either wait for it to break the move up, then pull back, form a support above the previous resistance 193.20. And look for my buy option, take back up towards the current daily candle's high. Otherwise, if it pulls back below, I wouldn't be selling it necessarily because it's back into consolidation. I'd rather just see what happens if it retests 193 flat, if it forms support above it. Respecting the high low we've just formed, then I'd rather buy it. Now, on the flip side of that, if we start to pop below that level and break the support form within the current daily candle, then we do have clean traffic to left. I see price pulling back further, potentially retesting that resistance that we broke out earlier, 192.80 roughly. And if you have the volume momentum all the way back down to 192.550, so buys above the support, sells below it. And that is pretty much what I'd be looking at on GJ. Yeah, that's it, exactly it. If now the 4 hour closes as is, so closes above, high, low, higher, high, then your other option will be if we just consolidate. It doesn't necessarily retest the zone because we have done so in a 5 minute. I'd still like to see it do so in a 30, but if it just consolidates now, 4 hour closes, your candle creates a bit of low wick, pulls back to create another high low, and starts to form again a bit of structure, high lows, high highs, begins to break the high of the previous 4 hour candle. Close to my open, there could be options to buy it on continuation as well. That's GJ. Check the 5 minute time frame. What? I actually have a little confirmation on a 5 minute.
You probably thought there was some form of confirmation on 5 minute time frame.
There actually, well, I have one. I'm not going to take it. I do. I have one. If it breaks again, I've got a pretty good confirmation, to be honest. But I'm not going to take it. So, what do you think of GJ for our clean traffic to the left? yeah, like I mentioned, I think on the following 4 hour, and it's also coming close to MY session, so pre-MY volume could be there more because we've had obviously the Japanese bank holiday and the British bank holiday, UK bank holiday. So doesn't mean the volume's not there. It's just, I don't know, not as predictable, I think. I've just never bothered to trade these bank holidays. So I just, yeah, choose not to. This trade, you still be in it. You still would have got your 10 by the looks of it. Be a drawn out one. Long drawn out one. Gold, so far it's rejecting that level I mentioned based off the longer term outlook. When I say longer term, I mean further into the week. Based off the weekly candle, previous weekly candle. This is a potential level that could potentially be the highest point of the current weekly if we are to eventually pull back and move back in line with the previous weekly candle. This is the level I would like to see price reject. Now, what I'd be looking at though more immediately on gold is, it does reject, come close to MY, where it could pull back to, well obviously the most recent resistance we have broken out of, form support above that 23.14 roughly, 23.1380. To look for a buy at that point, they're creating a higher high within the daily candle. Like I mentioned, start the stream within the daily. What you've made is what it's been doing. Price action is create a series of high lows, higher highs. Just done that yet again. And that's what I've been looking for moving forward into a new 4 hour candle, as I've just drawn up that type of scenario. Same type of thing. As for sells, well, one case would be closure below the support form 23.08. At that point, they're flipping structure back bearish on the 30-minute time frame. Not only that, you've got some clean traffic to the left. Not only that, you're obviously creating a lower low. So that's some more confidence after rejecting the 4 hour resistance. Otherwise, what I want to see for possible sells from the current level is the 4 hour. I'd be waiting for the 4 hour to close. And if the new candle respects the high of the previous, pulls back up, we start consolidating around this resistance, and then we start to close below the support form that resistance. That could be an option to sell it back down from higher up. But just be calm about it. I don't force anything, guys. It's first day of the week. Plenty of time. Yeah, that's my opinion of both gold and GJ at the moment. Silent, that new foil will probably pull back, and then might continue bullish and mostly retest Asian Open.
I think the only thing to bear in mind is the 4
Now,
hour
GJ goes.
right?
What's that? 4 hour what?
Yeah, so on the 4 hour on gold, there's a channel down. Like we're still on a downtrend at the moment.
It definitely is. That's why I'm concerned about the current level.
Yeah. It's kind of like hits some specific structure, but it depends on what happens. Like you said, what happens with the lay of the time. If it's still with the continuing like a downtrend, I would say take this week with some form of a pinch of salt, because it's the new beginning of the month in some quote unquote, because obviously we just had the new month just started last week. So price is likely to still be unpredictable for the first week, and then you get an idea of where the rest of the upcoming month is going to go. That's for people that don't know how things work when it comes to like higher time frames.
How's it going, guys?
You're right, man.
G'day, mate. How are you?
How you doing, man? You alright?
All good, brother. All good.
All good, all good. Yeah, so based on gold, man, high time frames. See, I sent out a chart yesterday where we've been poking into that 50% and not breaking it.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so it just makes sense to make an ABC correction back to the upside.
So this is in the...
Yeah, so I use all sorts of confluences, you know, price action. That's the GJ.
That's GJ.
Yeah, if it comes back down there and respects it.
Is this the one?
Yeah, so based on that one, we weren't able to break 50%, which means we'll probably push back up, grab more money and liquidity from above where we've been
Yeah,
reading as well.
that's exactly what I was looking at, coming up to sort of 23.50, coming back up to 23.50. Take out that liquidity.
If we stay above 19 on a daily, if we close up above 19, then 19 becomes your floor. Then it will push you back up to those areas, pick up more liquidity because you got a fair value gap up there as well. It will be just an ABC correction for it to actually go back down. So I got gold from now to probably end of June doing this move, and then probably
this
end of
particular
June.
move.
Yeah. So probably because we're ranging anyway at the moment. We're just chopping wood.
Yeah, exactly.
But on a higher time frame, for us to get back into that zone, we'll probably be able to take a good trade downwards all the way back to probably even below 22. Usually the 79 might be 21.79 by June. Probably will be a great place to actually go for long again and all-time highs again. 25.
Yeah.
So for now, yeah. So for me, what I do,
I don't know about all-time highs, but I'm definitely be short-term bullish to take out this liquidity up to 23.50. I think that's a good shout.
Yeah,
and then maybe a little short.
Because there's one little thing we have is we have a little gap on the 4 hour around 22.90, 22.91, and we've kind of left that. I think we probably will leave that for now.
22.90 to...
Yeah. I use Pepperstone usually. Pepperstone shows all the gaps and stuff.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah. You see that gap up above? Further up. If you look further up,
here?
up. Yeah, up. A little bit further. There you go.
Oh, okay, just there.
Yeah. So we have a little gap there.
Yeah.
And what we usually do is we probably will leave that for whenever we're ready for it.
Okay.
So that's the way I look at it. I mean, and then on the hour, what I just saw, we made a higher low around 22.93, and we have multiple rejections to the downside. We weren't able to close below. We never had a real closer anyway on even an hour time frame below 88. We peaked below once, kind of probably attracted a lot of sellers in and then kind of took them back out. So that's what I'm always looking for, peaking above or peaking below, and then grabbing sell side, getting people attracted into sells, and then it goes back above. And that's it. Then it's your decision whether to get out of the trade, being caught wrong side.
Yep.
And so that's why I'm always looking. If we don't get a hard closer for sells for now, on the 80, at least 86 on a daily, I'll probably just be playing these zones.
Okay. Yep. I think that's more than fair. That's more than fair. I mean, sort of similar to what I do, but you're looking again for a longer term thing, because I've focused on a lot of time in the 4 hour zones and looking for rejections off those levels for my sell and my buy. But,
so even like now we're rejecting the 38.2% on Fib, which is the area we're at. So if you do a measure from all the way from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom where we started in back in 20th of March, all the way to all-time highs, and you'll see where we are right now.
So around here?
Yeah, so exactly around where we started from. So you can take the whichever candle you're happy with, where the move started from, all the way to the top.
I usually use the lowest and the highest points.
Yeah, you can, wherever you're comfortable with, bro. And then
try the 38.2.
Yeah, we've been rejecting the multiple times. So if we reject this again, then obviously you go into your smaller time frames and you're playing inside this zone with your small time frames. But if you go above, then obviously you play in your
true.
So I kind of treat the market based on the fibs. I only have 3 floors, so I have the floor, a ceiling, and another ceiling. So I always play between 3 zones, and every time we break or we turn one into a floor, if we turn a ceiling into a floor, then I use that as my floor and I go to the next ceiling, just to make it a bit easier, especially with the choppiness that gold has.
Interesting.
Leon, you're taking euro pound, right?
Oh, don't talk to me about that.
Are you in buys or sells?
No, I'm in buys, yeah. Been in it
All
for
right.
about
So
a week.
last week it looked like it was actually going back up again, but if you look at it on the 4 hour, it looks like it looks like it's forming a bearish candle again, because it kind of touched the 50%. It didn't want to be there, and now we're falling back under that zone. So when we reject it now, if you look at it on the 4
for me,
hour,
this is just a pullback, you know. It's just a pullback. Hopefully, it's just a pullback, and then it keeps pushing. But
to be honest
it's
with
alright.
you,
I'll just hold it and see what happens. But
I was thinking like you last week, because the euro was stronger than the pound, but this week it looks it was just a little correction to go further downwards.
yeah,
So I'll probably be at break even, or my stop will be in the money, because if you look at it on the 4 hour, 4 hour, look, you have right there. I don't know if I can draw it. That's okay.
Yeah, you
So we've
can
got-
answer. Should be able to.
Okay. Yes. All right. So basically, this on the 4 hour, this is how I look at it. So obviously we couldn't break this, and obviously that was kind of news that we had as well. And right now we have the overhead supply, which ideally, if you look at a really overhead supply like these zones,
Okay.
you know, where moves has actually happened to the upside. So based on that, I'm just looking at it as on smaller time frames, like on the 1 hour, just to cut it down. If you go to the 1 hour, then you'll see we got a bearish movement,
yeah,
and we didn't want to be anywhere here, and we've broken back under, and we still have, you know, lots of liquidity in these areas. So that's why I've changed my bias a little bit.
yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in euro pound, not pound, dollar pound.
Oh, euro pound.
Yeah, euro pound. Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
I've gone the wrong way, haven't I? Shows how much I know about this pair.
That's why I was like, I'm looking at my chart, and this chart here is just
Yeah,
no,
I'm wondering. It
yeah.
looks horrible. I'm thinking, God, that's disgusting. How can anyone trade it? But that looks a bit cleaner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
yeah. So I sat for all of that choppiness. But to be honest,
I'm sorry,
it's a
guys.
very slow moving pair, so you have to be patient with it. And
Yeah.
I've been in trades before where I've sat through a lot of drawdown and then just got out because I got frustrated with it, and then it pushes. So I'm just going to be patient with this one.
You know, I would. This is one thing, man. You know, I always treat it. Look at this. Like, I always look for these little. You know, that's a bearish flag, and this could well be a bearish flag as well. So that's why I'm thinking. You know, if you break under this, I would recalculate. Because you know,
but
what I mean.
Yeah, okay.
So I would definitely be looking for that. Just if that holds, I'm still alright. But if that doesn't hold, then I'll probably start looking again. You know.
Yeah, if it breaks, you're probably right.
Yeah. So ideally, whenever like I want to trade GU or EU, what I do is I look at euro pound to see which one is stronger. And if you look at GU and EU right now, where the euro is almost 0.14 in negative. So that is the difference between what pound is right now and what euro is. Exactly 14, because the pound is plus 0.20% and the euro is plus 0.7%
All right.
versus the dollar.
All right. So there's more strength in the pound.
Yeah, so whenever you want to trade any of them, so if you want to go for buys, see which one is stronger, then try to go into that pair and ignore the other one because that will give you more.
Yeah, no, makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so now the pound's about that much stronger than the euro. So if you're looking at buys against the dollar, the pound will be your pair.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
thank you
I
for
understand. Yeah, makes sense.
thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Nice one. Sorry guys, just quickly, silent. I mean, it's I just keep doing what I always do, so coming to charts every day. But again, I trade like once or twice a day max, so I don't know how many trades you're taking a day. But if you're up 50%, maybe just chill and just risk part of, like, say to yourself, maybe I'm gonna only risk 10% of that profit for the rest of the month, and just be happy with that. I mean, that's fantastic. You're up 50%. I mean, that's fantastic by any stretch of imagination. So yeah, I mean, just be sensible about it if you are going to continue trading. But guys, I'm gonna have to get going because it's getting late here. Gonna go make some dinner. I'm considering being around for MI. All good, my friend. Good to have you on the chat. Good to have a chat with you. RR as well, man. Good to hear from you.
Thanks, man.
Feel free anytime. Josh as well, man. As always, appreciate it. Take care. Hope your wrist gets better, man. I know it's like, it's not easy when you got an injury, so just be careful. Nice one, brother. But everyone else, yeah, so join the free Discord group. I may do a little bit of an MY call later live with the Discord guys. If not, I'll do a MY update video. Not sure if I'll actually post it onto YouTube. I may do so, I'm not sure. But tomorrow I'll be on from about 7:30 AM UK time. Tomorrow I'll be actively looking for trades as per usual. And that's about it, guys. If you'd like to know more about any services I provide, the course is basically done. It's there. It's ready for, if anyone is interested, do shout me out. Do send me an email and I'll happily send you details about that too. But once again, good stream, guys. Appreciate the company. Do trade safe if you are trading into MY, and I shall catch you guys on stream again tomorrow. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye for now. Cheers, dudes.
Thanks, mate. Bye.
Bye.
Right.